after quite the long wait, we seem to finally have a vice presidential nominee. Let's talk about that. So, yesterday on Tuesday, August 11th, 2020, Joe Biden finally picked his nominee to be on the ticket with him for the vice presidential position here in the 2020 election for President of the United States. His pick, as I'm sure you've already heard, is Kamala Harris, Senator from California. Of course, right away, the entire world blew up. As you can imagine, based on my channel and the content of my channel, most of my social media feed is full of other politically heavy and politically rounded people that all had an opinion, of course. So, first of all, Kamala Harris was never my pick either for the presidential nomination, nor would she have been my first pick for the vice presidential pick. However, with that said, I am perfectly happy with this. I think this is a fantastic pick. I think it really drills down into what the American people in general are looking for right now in a vice presidential nominee. The promise that Joe Biden made quite a long time ago was that he was definitely going to pick a female. No matter what, he was going to pick a female. And of course, I applaud him for doing just that. That was what he promised, and that is what he delivered on. Kamala Harris is a tougher pick for me. Now, for probably the same reason why most people in Republican politics are going to go after her. Primarily her record as a prosecutor in California. She was very heavily a prosecutor that broke up families, that targeted low danger drug crimes, as it were. So what you're gonna see a lot coming from the right is they're gonna try to paint her as an overzealous prosecutor with a track record that is derogatory to her own people, as it were. On the flip side of that, you also are going to have Republicans that are going to bash her because she's been very pro-Black Lives Matter. She's been out marching in the streets. So they're going to paint her both ways. You're going to see them really struggle to try to have it both ways, to paint her in different ways depending on who their audience is at any given time. Of course, it did not take Donald Trump very long to come out and make his statements about her. He's going to have a very hard time helping himself, as it were, based on his past track record, both dealing with women and dealing with people of color, specifically women of color. This is a groundbreaking pick for the vice presidency. It's the first time that a woman of color has been on the presidential ticket on either position. Of course, we've had women on the presidential ticket. We've had women in the vice presidential ticket. Hillary Clinton for president and Geraldine Ferraro for vice president many, many years ago when I was but a child. So at the end of the day, you have a person of color, you have a woman, and you have a definite Democrat who's been very tough, specifically tough on William Barr in recent months in the last couple of years, and very tough on the judicial nominees for Supreme Court that came through. As a matter of fact, yesterday in a press conference, Donald Trump went after her for how she treated Kavanaugh. Now, Brett Kavanaugh, the poster child for alcoholism and misogyny, who is now a Supreme Court justice, unfortunately, that we couldn't stop that one, we being the Democrats in the Senate, simply because the majority was too high. What are you going to say? The attacks are going to come. They're going to come intense. They're going to come unstoppingly from the Republican Party, because now the racists who have been predominantly vocal over the last several months, due primarily to Black Lives Matter, now they have a real target in shooting for the White House. You saw plenty during the Obama years, pictures of Obama as a monkey, references to Michelle Obama being a monkey, and I'm afraid we're going to see the same thing here. I was very quick to point out yesterday on social media, my biggest fear is that it's the misogynists and the racists among us that are going to ruin this ticket. And unfortunately, it's not all going to be on the left. On the right. There's a lot of it on the left, too. It's really quite sad how much events of the last several months have really pulled back the curtain and shown just how much racism we have prevalent in this country. And it really is in every corner of society. I have had to weed out a ridiculous number of people from social media that have exposed themselves to be not utter racist, not flaming racist, but just that right amount of incendiary underlying racism that you know is going to be toxic. And this kind of a pick for the vice presidency could be just that. I'm going to show you a little bit of video real quick. Before I do that, I'm going to put my headphones on so I can actually hear without blasting you guys off and having all the weird echo that I've had in the past. But yesterday, President Trump actually was in a press conference. Let's play a little bit of that right now.
Well, she lied. I mean, she said things that were untrue. She is...
Now, he's referencing her statements that she made a while back about smoking pot, and saying that it was during a certain period of time in which the stuff being referenced wasn't... I mean, it doesn't matter. But regardless, this was a right-wing question from a right-wing publication. It was a softball for him, and this is what he says.
A person that's told many stories that weren't true.
So this is a liar accusing somebody else of being a liar. I just want to make sure we're very clear on that. His track record of untruths and blatant lies is astronomical. It is historic. It is legendary. So for him to even say these words is comical at best.
She's very big into raising taxes. She wants to slash funds for our military at a level.
Now, the slashing funds for the military. First of all, every Democrat, I think, pretty much on the planet, is for cutting our military budget. Our military budget is larger than the gross domestic product of almost every nation on the planet. So every Democrat, in fact, every Republican, in fact, every person should be pushing to have the budget of our military cut. It's way, way, way too high. And I will add, Senator Harris is in a state, she's the senator of a state that is full of military bases. That is not a controversial role or a controversial position to take.
Level that nobody's can even believe. She is against fracking.
Good. First of all, any Democrat that's up for office should be against fracking. I don't care if Joe Biden running in Pennsylvania, Kamala Harris will be running in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a huge fracking state. I live very close to Pennsylvania. I can tell you I am anti-fracking. Every single person I know that will vote Democrat is anti-fracking. It is destructive to the earth. It ruins groundwater. It is a pollutant and puts possibly cancer-causing chemicals, most likely cancer-causing chemicals, into our water, into our drinking water.
She's against petroleum products. I mean, how do you do that and go into Pennsylvania or Ohio or Oklahoma or the great state of Texas? She's against fracking. The
great state of Texas comment, by the way, is a pander because he's probably going to lose Texas. He's certainly going to lose Pennsylvania and Ohio, but he's probably going to even lose Texas. So, like, these little subtleties that he has, that great state of Texas, that is simply a pander to the people of Texas, trying to grab a few thousand more votes that he's probably not going to get.
Fracking's a big deal. She's in favor of socialized medicine.
Good. Every Democrat should be in favor of socialized medicine. We should have universal single-payer health care. It should be a right, not a privilege. Now he's going to go off to some old Republican talking points.
You're going to lose your doctors? You're going to...
No, you're not. If you have universal payer, Medicare for all even... The same doctors are going to be out there. They're all going to participate. How would you lose your doctor?
Lose your plan?
You should lose your plan. You should not have to pay up to $1,000 a month to have basic catastrophic health insurance. What in the fucking hell?
To take your health care plans away from 180 million Americans?
Yeah, like the 40 million Americans right now that currently don't have health insurance because we can't afford it? What the hell?
180 million Americans that are very happy with their...
They're not. Nobody's happy paying $1,000 a month. They get tricked into it using fear dialogue. That's what the Republicans do. They use fear dialogue to make people think, especially fairly uneducated middle Americans, believe that they're going to have something taken away from them. It's all fear words.
Health insurance, and she wants to take that away. So she was my number one pick. I mean, she was, as they would say, because hopefully you'll start college football, she was my number one draft pick. And we'll see how
Draft pick, college football.
she works out. She did very, very poorly in the primaries, as you know. She was expected to do well, and she ended up at right around 2% and spent a lot of money. She had a lot of things happening, and so I was a little surprised that he picked her.
I'm not surprised at all.
I've been watching her for a long time, and I was a little surprised. She was extraordinarily nasty to Kavanaugh, Judge Kavanaugh then, now Justice Kavanaugh. She was nasty to a level that was just...
So he's used this word before. Okay, that's enough of his face. So he's used this word before to describe women. He loves the term nasty. In fact, he called her nasty over a year ago as well. It's just one of those things that he likes to do. So he is going to do the same kind of thing he did with Hillary Clinton. He's going to paint her in a light as if she is beneath him because he is a misogynist and he is a racist and he is not going to be able to help himself as time comes down. The Kamala Harris pick is fantastic for Democratic politics. You are going to take a large percentage of the people that were not happy about Biden. Now, I'm not saying large percentage of people, like I'm not saying the majority were not going to vote for Biden, but there are plenty of Bernie voters that were not happy with Biden. There are plenty of middle of the road voters in general. Maybe that they don't even represent Democratic ideals that look at Biden as an old school choice, as a establishment choice. One of the reasons why we ended up with Trump is because people were looking for something different in Washington. And Biden represents everything Washington is and always has been. So I certainly give them that. But he is ultimately a good man. He is ultimately a man that served under President Obama, who really served with honor, complete and utter honor, and just cleanliness, if you will, social cleanliness for 8 years in office. The biggest controversy that he had, really, in the Republican eyes, was wearing a tan suit, which, by the way, Mitch McConnell wore in the White House last week. You guys can point to Benghazi all day long. I'm sure that's what the comments are going to be down below after that comment. But it's utter nonsense. It's all utter nonsense. Probably the reason why they stayed away from Susan Rice, though, by the way, because Susan Rice was also a high-level choice for the vice presidential nod. But, you know, Kamala Harris represents where America is right now. We are pushing for equality for women and equality for African Americans and all people of black and brown color. And she represents that entire community. And right now is that time where we need to allow our presidency and the vice presidency to represent the people in the most effective way. And that's what that does. It also shows that the Biden campaign continues to run a really smart campaign. They are making smart choices, and they are doing things in a way that does not cause controversy and does not dissuade voters from voting for Biden. There's going to be a debate, I believe it's for October 7th in Utah. There's going to be a vice presidential debate, and I cannot wait to see Kamala Harris on stage debating with Mike Pence. It's going to be absolutely epic. Anyway, what are your thoughts? What do you guys think of Kamala Harris being tapped as the vice presidential nominee for the Biden ticket? Are you up for it or are you against it? Do you think my point is well thought out? Am I possibly correct on most of this stuff? If you think I'm wrong, let me know below, man. You guys, I got blown up yesterday. Blown up because I fucked up North Dakota, South Dakota. Yeah, you know what? Listen, as I have always said, I am not a news reporter. I am not a political pundit. I am just some narcissistic asshole that has opinions on shit. And this is the medium that I choose to throw that shit out to you guys. So I apologize for all of you hyper bikers out there that were pissed off because I fucked up North Dakota versus South Dakota. I honestly don't care. My point is still clear. Any biker that was at Sturgis this past week, actually, I think you guys are still there now. You're all a bunch of fucking morons. I don't care. Go ahead and verbally assault me in the comment section. I don't give two shits. I actually looking forward to going to South Dakota. I would really like to go see Mount Rushmore someday. I would like to go to Deadwood. I'd like to do all that stuff. So I'm not. It certainly was just a mistake. I actually fixed it in my description of the video, but you guys all went after me for that. Woo! Look out. Anyway, thanks for watching today's episode of the Daily Octane. If you liked today's video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow on another episode of the Daily Octane. Have a great day, guys.